Welcome to Midnight Menu Plus One. I'm Ray Canada. Margot Moss, our regular co-host, is on assignment in Bali. She's on the beach, learning all about the cuisine there. Can't wait for her report on that. But Midnight Menu Plus One, our show, is a food lifestyle show on the podcast network, itsneworleans.com. And tonight we're at the NOLA Brewing Tap Room in the Irish Channel, our favorite location for taping. The tap room is NOLA Brewing's on-site watering hole. They serve NOLA's regular lineup of craft beers as well as 8 specialty brews you can't get anywhere else. The tap room is open 7 days a week, weekdays from 2 to 11 p.m. and weekends from 11 in the morning until 11:30 p.m. Now, glad you all could join us. Each week on Midnight Menu Plus One, Margot and I invite a member of New Orleans restaurant and food community to have a beer with us, and we invite them to bring along their own guest, a plus one. We never know who the plus one's going to be. Sometimes it's a friend, a neighbor, family member, or a fellow restaurant colleague. Well, our special guest tonight on Midnight Menu Plus One is Colin Provensal, and he will be with us in just a moment. Before he joins us, I do want to recap a little bit of my culinary ventures this week. I had a rare opportunity to be out of town. My listeners know how infrequently I leave town. I hate to be out of this place, but I went to Nashville, and I was at the Pinewood Social Club. The Pinewood Social Club is a really interesting place. I recommend it if you're in town. It's right on the river downtown, beautiful views. It has a playground in the back. It's got a bowling alley in the restaurant. It's got living room seating. It's got like a coffee shop sort of area. It's got a bar, and it's got regular traditional seating. Well, the setting was ridiculously interesting, but the food was great too. I got a pork chop, some root vegetables, and it was great. Here, the one that's on my mind since I've been back is about 10 minutes ago. I ate at Slice, Magazine Street, and I got for the first time I got the blue and green salad, and it's just they put a big steak on top of a great salad, and it was just awesome. And the only other thing I want to give a shout out to at this time is NOLA Brewing's Imperial Porter. I'm drinking it right now, and I was on a porter kick all week, and I went through some of my favorites. I mean, I love Anchor's Porter and the New Belgium Porter, but my favorite of all is the Imperial Porter here at NOLA Brew. It's just so much richer, and highly recommend it when you come by the tap room. Well, it looks like it's time now for our special guest. We're really excited to have with us Colin Provensal. Welcome.
Yeah, how's it going?
Good to have you here. Listen, I want to tell you a story before we get started because I'm dying to tell this story. Okay, so Dean Ellis is a guest that we had earlier on in the show. We had him a long time ago. He's the bartender at NOLA, the Emerald Restaurant in the Quarter. And I guess it was last night or night before, he was tending bar, and what happens is he and his buddy, his other bartending partner, when people walk in that are kind of by themselves, they kind of guess what the guy does for a living, and they try to make up a backstory. And this guy walks in, and they look at him, and Dean looks at his buddy and says, "That guy's either a serial killer or a scientist." And his buddy said, "I think he's both." And he said, "Okay." And so they try to get it out of him. So then they go over and they talk to him, and this guy wouldn't answer anything. They ask him all these questions, and he gives them like 1-word and 2-word answers.
I'd go with serial killer.
Yeah, and he totally just like glares him down and he makes it really clear he does not want to talk. He's not in a talking mood, right? So the guy leaves. An hour later, he ends his shift, Dean does. He goes home. He turns on the TV, and that same guy is all over the screen. He got arrested. It was the frickin' serial killer from Jinx. Robert Durst, yeah.
Really?
That was the guy in his bar an hour before. And he had guessed that he was a serial killer by looking at him.
The guy should have changed his image. If you're a good serial killer and you want to get away with it. I mean, like, not that I recommend that.
People shouldn't just be guessing.
But if that's your lifestyle choice, you should be like
scream serial killer.
You should look like something else. I mean, if you look like a serial killer, you should be like a neurosurgeon.
Well, he tried that when he went to Texas in hiding last time. If I remember correctly, he was a cross-dresser, really bad cross-dresser, I think. But he dressed as a woman for like a year or two.
At least
or whatever
try and
it was.
be good. I mean, it's not that difficult. Like makeup, they make makeup. They make a lot of it. Like,
isn't that insane?
Yeah.
What a great story that is, though.
That's an incredible story.
Yes. That could be a whole show right there. We need to get Dean back. We need to get Dean back.
Certainly. I think you do.
Okay. Well, that doesn't have a lot to do with you, though, Colin. Tell us about your current venture, and then I want to ask you some other things. But first, let's just start out right away with a plug for your current venture.
All right. So I have a breakfast pop-up restaurant at Dissin, actually, Dissin Dem. We are going through the name change to separate ourselves from entities. Let's put it that way. Yeah. We need to be Dissin Dem, and so we'll start plugging it as Dissin Dem, I guess. And I do breakfast there. I rent out the kitchen space in the morning, and it's new. You know, sometimes it's hard to get people up before noon, but it is. It's
in this
really,
town.
Yeah, it is. But I make. Let's just say extremely Southern influenced food.
All right.
You know, like my menu is mostly like po' boys and hash, like, you know, carbs and potatoes and cheese, and like my pepper mix. Actually, I'll say it's not that much of a secret. It's instead of, you know, just like normal seasonings that a restaurant would use, it's a little more spiced. You know, that's what I consider Southern food. It's a little more spiced and like more heavy cream and butter and stuff like that.
So is this every day now?
Every day but Monday.
Okay, so is it the same days that Dissin Dad is open, or?
Yeah, they're also open on Mondays.
Okay.
But I'm closed on Mondays because I need one day of rest.
Okay.
But I'm open Tuesday through Friday. My hours are going to be 7 to 11. And Saturday and Sunday, for the next couple of weeks, they'll be 7 to 11. But after about 2 weeks, and we'll have postings on our Facebook page and on my website and all that other stuff.
So is there a gap between when you end and when they begin? Like, when do they open?
Technically, I have to shut by 10:30, but I push until 11, and that's why I say 11, is because if I say 10:30...
You realize Skip is listening right now, probably, right?
Yeah. Probably. I hope so. I hope so.
We had Skip on the show, I think back in December. Yeah, Skip Murray, yeah.
No, I mean, like, I try and get my customers in before 10:30, but I say 11.
So there's probably a sweet spot right there where if our listeners go, they can get both. They can have a choice. They could probably get from you and from...
If they come at 10:30, 10:45 on a weekday, and a lunch crowd is on their game, then they can get, you know, a breakfast po' boy and French fries.
Nice.
But they're going to be the special people. You know, I prefer if they come in earlier. So especially if they come in earlier, I can give them the special treatment of me telling them all my terrible jokes and taking the time to cook for them, and, you know, the Bloody Marys and mimosas and all that stuff.
Wait, you serving Bloody Marys and mimosas on a
yeah.
Tuesday morning at 7 o'clock?
I have, yeah.
That's another only New Orleans thing. Okay.
Yeah.
Are you drinking the Bloody Marys and the mimosas at
not on Tuesdays.
Yeah, you got to have quality control, right? I mean, you got to know.
Yeah, no.
What you serving?
They're maple bacon Bloody Marys, actually.
Maple bacon Bloody
bacon
Marys.
Bloody Marys.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now, how many of those did you sell? Do you sell a lot of those?
It depends on the day. Usually on Sundays, it's a few more.
But I mean, on weekdays, like relative to how many like breakfast food items you sell, is it ratio 1 to 5, 1 to 20?
On weekdays, actually, I haven't sold a single one.
Haven't sold a single one. All right, that's a challenge for somebody.
I think so.
Maybe me.
Yeah. Okay. Come on in, please. I would love to feed you
sounds
a
great.
Bloody Mary.
A Bloody Mary, yeah. Good.
Yeah. No, I'm pretty proud of them. But yeah, I mean, like, my menu is.
Wait, I got an idea for you.
Yeah.
Okay,
please.
so you do that, and then you have a cot, and you let somebody take a nap, and then when they wake up, they can get lunch at this and that.
Yeah. Actually, we had some people in the other day, and they were running.
No, he's this and dem. I know, but I'm saying this and that. He could drink at this and dem, take a nap, and then eat at this and that again.
This and that is going to be
two.
this and dem. It's all going to be this and dem.
Oh, it's all going to be this and dem.
Yep.
Oh, I'm confused. Okay.
Now you're not.
I'm still confused a little bit. So why is this?
Well,
and that?
I'm always confused. Don't feel too bad.
Oh, wait a second. So Skip's entity is separate from your entity, right?
Yes.
He's not the owner of your thing, right?
Correct.
Okay. He's this and that still currently,
No.
right? Oh, see, that's what I'm getting wrong. Okay. He was this and that.
Yes.
Okay, now he's this and dem.
Yes.
Who's on first? Okay. So, but you are separate, yet you have the same name, huh?
Marketing purposes.
Okay, so there's two dis and dems. One.
Well, it's all dis and dem. It's all dis and dem, man. It's all dis and dem. I do the breakfast, and he does the lunch and dinner.
I got you. Okay, well, you were describing yourself as a pop-up, though, so I assumed you were separate. Okay.
I mean, I have my menu, and they have theirs, you know, and it's separate. So if you come in the morning and you want a hot dog, I can't make it for you because that's not my food.
Gotcha. Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense, sort of.
Yeah. I mean, like I've made exceptions before, but you know, always made exceptions.
All right.
Throw
I
the money
gotcha.
aside.
Okay.
But yeah. Also, my biscuits and gravy. My biscuits and gravy are killer. I call it Cajun sausage gravy because I put so much damn spice in it. It's really incredible.
Nice. Now you haven't always been a chef. You were a musician before you were cooking, right?
Yeah, and all at the same time, kind of. I mean, I started out with music when I was a kid.
Yeah, I heard a rumor that you were playing at some. What was the club you were playing at when you were like 7?
I was Melius's bar on Lake Avenue in Bucktown.
In Bucktown.
Yeah, in Bucktown on Lake Avenue in Bucktown. Yeah, we get all the people in from Metairie there. You know, they smoke their what do they smoke? Camel Lights, I guess.
I don't know. I haven't really been to Bucktown much.
Yeah, they all sound like this. You know? Yeah, let me get a Bud Light.
What's the point of having a Camel if it's light? It's just like having, I don't know, light beer.
Well,
like
I mean,
Camels.
they travel better across the desert.
All right, so at 7, how did you get a gig at 7? Was your dad a musician?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, there you go. So he's playing and he'd bring you.
Yeah, no, actually, he just kind of went there because his friends played there, and then I just started playing with. It was just kind of a free for all, you know. I mean, I'd play piano with whoever was there, and it was all just kind of like a big family. I mean, my dad had a private party band for years called Passport, and him and his brother were the resident blues brothers at the House of Blues for years.
Oh.
And did you see the Blues Brothers 2000 movie? No. They had a little kid Buster in that.
That's based on you.
No.
Oh.
I used to act as that kid. I wish. But after the
that
movie
was modeled on you.
After the movie came out, I started going with my dad's band to the gigs at House of Blues, Howlin' Wolf, Tipitina's, Steel Pony Express.
This is another only New Orleans thing.
Yeah.
You are aware, right, in other cities, if you're in Cleveland or even New York or whatever, like, they don't let 7-year-olds in the bars or whatever. Never mind let them play. They don't even let them in.
That confuses me, actually. There was this girl, MG Foster. She's 13. She plays at the Neutral Ground Coffee House once a month, I believe, maybe twice
currently
a month.
she does?
Yeah, she's
cool.
13. Her family comes.
Great
and
venue.
She writes
Uptown
her
venue,
own music,
yeah.
and she does some covers, and she is wonderful. She is 13, and her songwriting is incredible. And she was just like, I asked her if she played anywhere else, and she said, no, I can't really, get into bars. I was like, I started when I was 7. This is New Orleans.
Yeah, it's
if you are a musician, they will let you in.
Yeah, it's Americanizing.
And
the place
especially
is
since we have
Americanizing.
so many non-smoking venues now, and soon to come in with the ban. But I'm not going to get started on that because I am a smoker. But
yeah, but yeah, we try to stay away from the politics here. But man, I think that's the end of the world as we know it. The smoking ban. I don't smoke myself, but it's just horrible.
The end of the world.
It is.
Yeah,
it is.
certainly.
It's the beginning of the end for New Orleans.
I don't know.
They couldn't let us survive too long. Well, they've tried before to kill us.
Well,
so.
I mean, we're trying to kill ourselves. They can't kill us. I mean, it has to be by our own hand.
Yeah, I don't want to get into it.
Iron livers, all of that.
Iron livers?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
I'm a New Orleanian. I was born with one.
Oh, with iron liver.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Pretty much.
So did you start drinking at 7 too? You wait till you're 9.
I had my first drink when I was 8.
All right. Well, I mean, I'm glad you waited. That's good.
I was sipping wine with dinner when I was 13. Family. Family thing, open a bottle of wine, give me, like a little half glass or something to have throughout the entire course.
So did you
of
get
the
a lot of
meal.
tips when you were 7? Even if you sucked, you probably got a lot of tips at 7,
Yeah, when
right?
I was 12 and 13,
Really
there was a restaurant in the bottom of Heritage Plaza right there on the 17th Street Canal. It was like a pizza Italian joint or whatever, and they had a baby grand piano. When I was like, I think I was 12 or 13. I guess I was in middle school. I forget the magazine that did a one-page article on me, but I played piano there every Saturday night.
Every Saturday night? So you had a regular gig.
Yeah.
This wasn't like your dad bringing you up there once in a while.
It was a really cool thing because I was like 12 or 13. I was like, the deal was they feed me one of anything I want off the menu. They give me $20 cash, and I make tips, for about 2 hours of work.
Wait, how long ago was this?
This was 10 years.
Yeah, so in today's dollars, that's like $25-$30. You're getting, and you get a meal.
I mean, that was back when
and you get
when
to be a rock
gas
star.
was like $1.05.
You got all the women too. You got all the 14-year-olds for sure at that point. All the 8th graders were into that. Well, that's amazing.
Yeah, if only I could have used my music as swagger when I was younger. As if I could use it now. I wish, right?
Why not? What's stopping you?
I'm the most awkward person on the planet.
It doesn't matter when you're playing an instrument, though.
Yeah, and that's very true. That's I let it do my speaking for me.
Yeah.
Same with my food. I let it do my speaking for me.
Nice.
I mean, like even though I talk and the words just kind of fall out of my mouth.
Right.
Sometimes my sentences don't necessarily make sense, but if you eat my food or listen to my music, it's going to make sense.
I'm starting to get in your head though. It's starting to flow. The logic. There's an internal logic to the way you're. I don't know if it's the body language or what. Okay, so tell me now. Are you still playing in a band now, or are you still playing?
I don't. I've been writing a whole bunch of music. And actually, the guests we're gonna have later, I'm gonna be playing a couple of shows with him as backing him. And that's part of the reason I'm
maybe
bringing him on.
Maybe that's a good segue then to introduce him. How about that?
I think that's a great idea.
All right, tell us who you got and why you invited your +1 and how you know him and all that.
This is some guy I found on the street. He was sleeping. He was trying to get his finger out of an electrical socket.
He wouldn't give me money, but he said that if I came on this show, it was almost like money.
No, this is Jeff Thompson.
All right, well, you get all you can drink. NOLA Brewing Tap Room is very generous with us. They not only provide this space, but they give all our guests all they can drink and the hosts.
This is a wonderful place for them.
Yeah, the more I drink, the funnier I think I am.
Me too. What do you know?
Yeah.
All right.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, tell us
Jeff.
about yourself, Jeff.
Well, I'm a New Orleans native. I'm now based up in Asheville, North Carolina, but Well, in general, I'm based up in Asheville, North Carolina, but I've been
Most
based.
people don't know that's a really kind of granola town for North Carolina.
That is one aspect of it. It's been voted Beer City for several years in a row. So there's a big, I don't know, it's pretty granola. Definitely compared to New Orleans, it is. It's easier to find organic food and people who believe in astrology. But I'm based down.
It's a little more blue too than, it's a little more blue than red.
I would say so. It's a kind of an oasis of blue and a sea of red, not unlike Boulder, Colorado.
And us and Austin.
Yeah, totally. It's one of those towns.
Yeah, sort of like the Austin of North Carolina, right?
I would say it's the Austin of North Carolina with fewer cowboy hats, because I lived in Austin for a while too, and they're not the same town, but the analogy holds. Anyway, I've been down here since mid-December, and I've just been working on building my fan base down here and connecting with my family down here because I grew up here. And I had the fortune or misfortune of becoming friends with Colin sometime in the last couple months, and now he's playing some keys and singing with me. So in my band here.
Yeah, well, I mean, he came to we frequent and kind of live at the Neutral Ground Coffee House.
Yeah.
All right.
And it's really one of my
spot.
It's one of my favorite places.
Well,
of all
now
time.
the Neutral Ground Coffee House, I think, claims at least a distinction, and they may be correct.
The oldest coffee shop in the South.
Well, that, yes. And then also, it has more musical acts on a given week than any other spot in America, because it opens, in the afternoon sometime, late afternoon, usually early evening, right?
7 p.m.
7 p.m., okay. And
7 to midnight.
I've been in there where it's still light out. I guess that was the summer or something, but...
daylight savings.
Yeah.
It's not unlike some venues in New York City where it's like an hour for
nonstop
this act,
music.
immediately another act, immediately another act, and
But
they
it
have
does
3 or
that
4
like
acts
7
a night.
days a week until
Yep.
wee hours of the night.
Yeah.
It does it every,
And
from
Sunday's open
from
mic.
the
So if
great
you
open
include
horrible
open
to
mic
the
people-
glorious. I mean, you can go there and hear some of the best acts on the planet, and for free, or you can hear some really bad, screechy, music or whatever, and everything in between.
I love and I like that.
Yeah, that's
I
what's
like
cool
that about it. I
and
mean,
really good coffee and really funky atmosphere there.
Actually,
that
they
building
just-
is like from the 1830s or something.
Old.
It's super
It's
old.
old, and they just
And right in Uptown, right behind Newman, and
yeah,
kinda
and that's
nestled in
another thing. I'm
residential
really
neighborhood.
glad to be involved with them. They just went through a change in ownership to where it's more of a co-op again. They have
Okay.
a whole bunch of owners
Yeah,
again.
right. Phil Melanson used
Phil
to own it.
Melanson
Yeah.
still is a part
Okay,
owner.
okay.
Phil Melanson is
Great musician.
He's a
I
great
love that
guy
man.
too.
Yeah.
I love that man so much.
Now let's back up for a second. What kind of music do you all play? I mean, we've just been talking about music, but what's the style that you play?
My music is it's jazz and blues influenced,
But it's rock.
and roll with a lyrical influence. With a lyrical emphasis.
All right.
So I'm real influenced by Leonard Cohen, Tom Waits, Joni Mitchell, Bob Dylan writers, but I'm also
Awesome.
real influenced by old jazz and Radiohead and Jeff Buckley.
Yeah.
So it's kind of all over the place.
Well, even half the ones you just named are big New Orleans fans, right? I mean, Bob Dylan said like this is
Tom
his
Waits
favorite
sure
place
is.
in the world. Tom
Yeah.
Waits writes songs about it. Yeah.
Yep.
Dylan
Well, I
was
wish I was in New Orleans.
All right. Well, that could be another. That could be a second act. You could be the Tom Waits
Tom Waits
experience, or
tribute
whatever.
band.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and then never sing again.
Wreck your voice, right?
I
Yeah.
have a friend of mine. This girl Ashley. Whenever she gets sick, her voice gets, and then she plays Tom Waits because she plays upright bass. So
Wow.
it's great. She'll just get up there and.
I wouldn't find that
You know.
attractive.
Oh no, it's great. It's great. She's one of my favorite people.
She's
One
pretty
of,
amazing.
She's one of the hippiest
Yeah.
hippie.
Yeah, but
hip-
she's
hipster.
too. She's too. She
Hip
has
to the
she
hop.
has her
You
stuff
don't
together
stop.
too much to be a hippie. Like she actually knows music and. Wow, the whole club just got silent. Did I just offend a bunch of hippies? What just happened?
You just. Those are fighting words. No. But,
these hippie hipsters.
No, her music is tight, and I'm just used to like hippie music being characterized by its lack of tightness.
pretty much, if you yell hippie, hipster in a room full of people drinking in New Orleans, somebody falls in one of those three categories. I think they're either
and
hip,
they-
More
They
like
fall-
every, more,
they
if
fall
you're in
and
the
break
right
their
bar,
hip.
everybody falls in those categories.
They
I
they
think
fall
so.
and break their hip.
Yeah, pretty much. Man.
Now wait a
Oh,
second.
no,
Are you
that
are you
was-
are you
no.
planning
No.
on? And now, is there space for music? Are you planning on sort of having some synchronicity here? In terms of you could be playing some music. For example, you could have your pop up in the morning, and then after you break, then the band could play at lunchtime at the same venue.
I'm thinking about it, man. That back deck is looking really appetizing.
The weather's
for
like
music.
tonight?
We had an opening act. We had a band on our grand opening night, and they went over really well.
Where at? Dissin Dat?
Yeah,
Dissin Dem?
Dissin Dem. Yeah, Dissin Dem. You have to get used to that. But yeah, no, we had a band there, and
was there like a copyright thing? Like, what's the change in the name? Did somebody
disassociation with Dat Dog? That's all.
Oh, that's it. Okay. Well, we should
Disassociation with Dat Dog,
Yeah,
and
well,
Dem had a problem with it.
I like
Well,
I like alliteration. What can I say?
Yeah.
don't get yourself like sued by anybody for this or whatever, because I don't know I don't really know the
That's
story.
the simplest way to put it. Disassociation. We're
Okay,
trying to
there you
make
go.
sure
Right,
that
right.
people know that we're different.
So people
He's
should
not
know
trying
that
to diss the association, but it's a disassociation regarding Dissin Dat and Dissin Dem. You got
Yeah.
that?
say that fast 5
Yeah.
times.
no, please don't try, because I know you're
hurt.
gonna try.
That hurt to listen.
Yeah.
Okay,
No,
so our listeners that may not be familiar, Dat Dog is like this, really revolutionary hot dog venue.
It's the
that's really,
empire.
yeah, it's amazing, and they've
Revolutionary
spread to
hot dog
they've spread to 3 other spots, and then Skip was an original partner in that, and then he split off to start
The
his
hot
own
dog guy.
thing. And that was Dissin Dat now apparently to make it less. Although Dat is like
It's everywhere.
It's
I
everywhere.
Know, but
Digital audio tape?
when I hear Dat, I don't think just of that hot dog place. I think of all kinds of stuff.
digital audio tape. That is
Yeah.
what that is,
Yeah.
isn't it? Yeah.
And just for the record, he's not trying to be Dissin Dem. Dat Dog, it's Dissin Dem. Never mind.
I don't
What?
even know what you're trying to do here.
You're
you
not
trying to say?
You're not Dissin Dem.
Oh, I'm not.
Oh,
dissing
not
them.
Dissin Dem. Got it.
Sorry, I don't mean to be
And that's,
disingenuous.
no, it's true. It's true.
Okay,
Okay,
for the
well,
rest of this
Now I
interview,
feel disenfranchised.
every word has to start with dis.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
like a Dr.
Colin's
Seuss
like,
challenge.
why did I
Actually, so
bring him?
let's put it this way. Because the back deck is looking so it's looking so appetizing. I'm in the next couple of weeks building an outside kitchen out
All right.
there. And I'm going to be rolling brunch up until about 1:30 on Saturdays and Sundays, so we can have a crowd on the back deck. And then once we dismember the kitchen, I might play some music. How about that?
All right.
But yeah, so people need to keep an eye on the Facebook page and stuff as to that update, because I have a feeling the people who can't wake up before noon sure would be doing fine by 1 p.m. to come in and get a Bloody Mary and one of my Benedicts. I did grits and griots this weekend, but it's not traditional. I made, instead of the regular sauce, I used the spicy tomato mixture and peppers with a brandy cream sauce on top of my pork loin medallions. I did an
That
eggs.
sounds
my
freaking
weekend
unbelievable.
specials I get really crazy with.
Is that as good as it sounds?
Yeah, yes,
It is.
Yeah, I made an eggs Benedict.
Promise?
I made an eggs Benedict Arnold.
Nice.
That was
It betrays your intestine,
So it's a Holland kind of a little bit.
but you don't care because it's
yeah.
so
You
You
delicious.
should try
No,
his
it's totally
Eggs
worth
Benedict Cumberbatch. You can't tell when it's lying.
No, the eggs Benedict Arnold was a Holland rusk topped with pork loin medallion with a brandy cream sauce, then a cream spinach stuffed mushroom cap, then the poached egg, then the house-made hollandaise.
Wow.
I wish you'd said that much slower.
Say it again.
That was awesome.
Say it again, slowly.
Each one of those words was so evocative. And use dis.
Wow, wow.
Yeah, if you put that cheap 70s porno music behind me talking about food, that could just be its own podcast.
That was pretty erotic. I could listen to you
Yeah.
describe that stuff over and over again.
Yeah.
Okay, so now how did you get into cooking now? Okay, so you're already so you're doing the music thing, and you probably had to go to school. I'm assuming you went to school and stuff, right?
No.
You never went to
He's
school?
just an extremely
I've been
talented
working in
dude.
the food service industry. I am only going on 24. I've been working in the food service industry for nearly 10 years.
Wait, so you dropped out of 14 from school?
No, I was just working while I was in school.
Oh, okay, that's what I'm saying. So you went to school, and you were
High
making
school.
music.
High school.
Yeah, okay, but I'm saying you were doing stuff besides
I
just-
did drop out of high school, but that's irrelevant.
No, that's what I'm asking. All right, so at some point you had to have some time to be able to. It takes time to learn to cook like that.
Yeah, that was what would have been my senior year in high school.
So you started doing what?
Well, I worked for a whole bunch of different places. I mean, one of the places that I learned the most actually was this short-lived restaurant called Cabana Grill. It was on St. Charles, where the what's that place? It was a barbecue joint over by Carrollton. And it's like not near anything else.
St. Charles and Carrollton.
Yeah, it's on
Like
St.
by
Charles.
Riverbend.
Bud's Broiler?
No. It used to be.
I know Fat Hen.
Yeah, it used to be the. We were there before. Fat
Now
Hen.
it's Willie Mays. Yeah, it's been 1,000 things in the last 10
It's
years.
a cursed
yeah.
location.
It's a
It
cursed
is.
location, although we don't want to say that because we're hoping Willie Mays will do great there. But
No,
yeah.
I hope so too.
Yeah.
But I was there.
It was a Turkish restaurant for a little while in there.
It was
a
a
coffee
friend.
shop.
It was a friend's girlfriend's father's restaurant, and
Okay.
as soon as he opened it, I jumped on board. and watched him create his menu items, and I pretty much watched him and helped him do everything shy of his taxes.
Yeah.
I got to work front of house, back of house, and all that other stuff. Besides the fact that, when I was 15, I was working at the Audubon Institute doing the catering for wedding receptions and stuff like that.
For the over in the zoo.
Yeah.
Or? Oh, neat.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I did that. I got to do an event at the aquarium, and that was incredible. It was just fun.
You know what would have gone over poorly there if you made some fish dishes out of
out of some of the exhibits.
Some of the exhibits.
I would have loved to. They would have been super fresh, but they wouldn't let us. Especially some
that
of
could
the
be
ones
super exotic. Like the people that eat like really strange game.
Like, wow, this is really incredible
Yeah.
shark. Where'd you get it? See that half shark trying
exactly.
to swim over there? Yeah,
some rare
super
fish.
fresh.
Sushi out of some like rare fish.
Yeah, no, that was cool. So I worked there. I did the pizza thing for a while. Figaro's on Maple Street. I worked there. That's where I learned how to saute cook.
Oh, you were at Figaro's.
I was at Figaro's.
Oh,
I was
yeah,
at
okay,
Figaro's
okay.
for
Yeah.
over a year, almost 2 years.
Okay.
And then I did the Dat Dog thing. I worked at Dat Dog.
Figaro's was good.
I worked at Figaro's, and then I got hired at Dat Dog as a second job. Back when they were in the shed. Back when we were in, I still say we sometimes.
Oh, across in Ferret, across the street from the
when
current
it was
location.
when it was the little place. When
Little
it was
tiny place that's now the Philly cheesesteak place. Yeah.
Which is also an incredible place.
Also
I
awesome.
First
Love
of all,
that
I love
place.
the food.
Great
Second
custom.
of all, I love Mike.
Oh, yeah.
The guy who started it.
Awesome
he's
guy.
so passionate about his
Great
food.
comfort
and that
food.
it really is.
Awesome.
But that location was fantastic back when it
Yep.
was still.
I was there the first day.
For lack of a better term, when it was still just a bunch of Stone College students slinging wieners.
Yes.
And that's what it was, and that's why people came because.
By the way, I haven't had a hot dog
since.
since 1975, but I was there at opening day.
Yeah, before Dat Dog, I hadn't had a hot dog since the Byzantine Empire. Yeah.
Wow.
But no, that place was a whole lot of fun, and they were like, it was just pretty much just like
Suleiman the Magnificent.
like Muppet style, arms flailing.
Yeah.
And then just like serving people really good food and being really like retarded about it.
How so?
Like just making weird noises and screaming random things and yelling at each
I'm
other.
a college student slinging wieners.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Like without those words. So like just seriously, just making weird noises, and it was fun.
It was
because
magic
we were so
there. It really
incredibly.
was. There was a magic atmosphere
we
there, yeah.
made so much business.
Yeah.
An incredible amount of business with a line out the block.
I remember that. The first
but-
day, the line was literally about a block long right there.
Yeah, so I worked
it wasn't
there,
long at all
went
until they moved
went
to
to
a bigger space
Ferret,
across the street.
and then they opened Magazine, and I helped
Right.
them with Magazine. Then and that's where I got the majority of my management experience, was helping build that corporation.
Yeah. Now, weren't you? You were the something manager at.
I was the executive chef, but they misprinted my business cards, so they
Oh.
said executive chief. And I was totally cool with that. I still have about 100 of them left. I keep them for keepsake.
Executive chief.
The executive chief. I was the only executive chief. Still am. I'm the executive chief of what? Of everything. Pretty much anything you need. I'm just the executive chief. But after I left them, I went to Austin, Texas. Moved there with a girl. Didn't work out, but was worth it kind of situation.
Okay.
How
long were you in Austin?
I was nearly 8 months, 9 months.
Oh, okay.
And I worked at this place called 24 Diner. And this place is the most upscale diner I have ever been to, let alone worked at.
Huh, what made it upscale?
It just
Tuxedos.
No, like the servers. The servers were extremely professional. You get linen napkins and stuff like that, and everything was local. That's the thing about it, is that it's the kind of place where you walk up and above the bar, and it's also had a really modern feel to it, which was cool. But above the bar, they had like the farm where this came from, and like where your meat was from, and
Portlandia stuff.
Everything was every last thing. Yeah, pretty much. It's like, what was this chicken's name? Was it a happy chicken? Yeah.
Can I meet the chicken before you kill it?
Yeah. Then they end up coming back 10 years later and say, no, we'll just have the pork. But that place was fantastic because I got to hone I had been managing a Dat Dog so long that I lost my kitchen skills. I hadn't lost it, but I lost the speed. So when I got there, I started out on prep, and then by the end of it, I was just enjoying the hell out of it because it was. I would believe that it would be one of the highest grossing restaurants in all of Austin, Texas.
Oh wow.
Because only their food's really expensive too. I mean, you can spend $16 on a meatloaf and eat every last bite and still be hungry. But you're also going to be.
Is Kirby Lane still around?
Kirby Lane is still around. That was one of our biggest competitors. However, our food was. I mean, Kirby Lane was college student food, and 24 Diner was everyone food.
The queso is quite good though.
They had Belgian waffles, traditional Belgian yeast waffles, which I have not found anywhere else in the South. Where you actually take the time to let the yeast rise. We'd go through the huge Lex hands of them, 3 of them in a day.
Wow.
Chicken and waffles, everything was from scratch. We had a grind house because we didn't have enough room in ours, and they would bring stuff daily, fresh ground meat that they ground that day, and the mac. Oh my God, the mac and cheese, it was incredible. But working that line was, doing a $10,000 shift was, kind of cool, average.
Huh.
Wow. Yeah. And they were just like, this is how much money you did $2,500 in sales in this hour.
And I'm like,
on
my own place.
$2,500 in sales in that 1 hour? That's awesome. I got paid $10.
I was going to say, yeah, exactly.
But however, it was great. It was a great experience to get to move that fast. But then when I had a lot of breakfast experience there too, because that's how I found out I could crack 542 eggs in less than 20 minutes.
500 how many?
542 eggs.
542 eggs in less than 10 minutes. That's 52
20.
eggs.
Less than 20. Less than 20.
So that's 26. That's 26 eggs a minute. So that's an egg every 2 seconds.
Not even Paul Newman could do that.
No, I don't think so. Well, listen, we need to take a break for a second and thank our sponsors, and we'll come right back to the conversation right after this.
Great.
But we want to thank tonight the NOLA Brewing Tap Room, the watering hole of the NOLA Brewing Company on Chapatula Street, 3000 block in Irish Channel, where you can get all of NOLA Brewing's beers plus another 8 specialty beers you can't get anywhere else. And we'd also like to thank our friends at Petite Pet Care. While you're at work or on vacation, you don't have to board your pet. You can stay in the comfort of your own home. For loving care when you're not there, Petite Pet Care. Find them at petitepetcare.com. And lastly, we also want to thank Hangover Destroyer, the only all-natural product medically proven to prevent a hangover. Go to the Hangover Destroyer website, hdestroyer.com. Write Midnight Menu in the coupon code, and you'll get 30% off your order of Hangover Destroyer. Seize the day. Listen, you really do need to stock up on your Hangover Destroyer in advance, because when you're having a hangover, you really don't want to be having to deal with, sights and so forth. So
I feel like that's a brutal advertisement. It should be Hangover Destroyer.
Destroyer. Well, it's muscular.
No,
okay, so
that's incredible. All natural.
Yeah.
Really?
We haven't used dis in our conversation in the last. It's a destroyer.
Yeah, destroyer. Oh, don't let me be disrespectful.
Right. Time to disengage.
Yeah, exactly. So Jeff, I want to get to you for just a second.
Sure.
So what else do you do besides? Is your music a full-time vocation? Is this your? You pay all the bills with this, or do you have a day job too?
I pay all the bills with it.
Wow.
I do better up in Western North Carolina. I'm pretty much just starting at the bottom of the totem pole in the New Orleans music scene. But I do well up in the upper southeast. And
man, so you pay all your rent. You're a full-time musician.
I ain't wealthy, but yeah,
That's great.
I make a living, and
man,
I'm a poet as well, but I don't make any money off of that. I actually can, and I make visual art too, and sell that every once in a while. And sometimes I just stand on a corner and see if anybody picks me up. That's how I met Colin, actually. It's a little awkward, though. Can we go to a break?
Oh, speak for yourself. Yeah.
Our listeners should know that was all about eggs and music. That's what all it
All
was.
metaphors.
It's
all about food.
It's so intense. It's a meta 5.
All right. So what's your plans to stay in New Orleans for a while now? Or are you going to be going back and forth, or what are you doing?
Well, I have I need to get back up to Asheville for May. My band has a residency up in Asheville the whole month of May, but I'm going to be down here until then. Colin and I and 2 other folks, my band down here are actually doing a show at the Hi-Ho Lounge this coming Friday, March 20th.
Coming Friday,
March 20th. The early show, 7 p.m. No cover charge.
Oh, that's you're I know who's playing that night. You're playing right before the Parishioners.
I
Michael
guess
Caine
so.
and the Parishioners. Yeah,
I'm going to just say yes.
Yeah. You're playing. No, because that would be extra enticing for our listeners, because they go hear you all, and then they could stay and hear the Parishioners after that. I believe,
go to church.
If I got my schedule.
Yeah,
it's not too churchy.
No.
But the Church of Music. But,
I know we're playing from 7 to 9.
They're kind of a roots rock band.
Yeah,
which sounds like you know, maybe not all that dissimilar from you all.
Well, if they paired us up, then we're probably not too dissimilar.
Yeah, all right.
Dissimilar.
Dissimilar. I know. I worked that in there.
Yeah, he goes good.
Yeah. They're a great band as well.
Cool.
So that sounds like a great idea for folks listening to the show to go there on
Yeah,
Friday.
it's also going to be the first night that they're serving that the kitchen's serving fresh
The kitchen
crawfish.
is serving crawfish at Hi-Ho
At
Lounge?
Hi-Ho, yeah.
Oh, wow,
Yeah,
okay.
it's crawfish
Doesn't
season
get
is
much better
beginning.
than
So
that.
if we didn't get people with just saying, "Oh, we're cool people, come listen to us."
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, the parishioners. Oh, by the
Oh,
way,
also crawfish.
Crawfish.
Yeah.
Let's say that in harmony.
If you don't,
Crawfish.
crawfish.
Okay, if
No,
you don't,
yeah.
anybody listening to that doesn't go is
Harmony.
crazy. That sounds like
I agree.
an amazing
They
night.
might be.
I mean, yeah.
Even if they are crazy, we encourage that.
Yeah, a little bit.
All right, well, looks like we're out of time, aren't we? Yeah, unfortunately, that went by so fast. Well, thank you all for coming.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, it's been a blast.
Yeah, so come by Dissin breakfast. Come see us over at the Hi-Ho Lounge.
Friday, March 20th,
Friday,
7
March
p.m.
20th.
All right, and we have a web page or a Facebook page that we want to direct people to as well.
Yeah, you can go to Jeff Thompson Music for his music.
JeffThompsonMusic.com.
And you can go to currently dissindatbreakfast.com, going to be dissindembreakfast.com.
Yeah.
So check me out there. If you can't find me, give me a call at the location at 2540 Banks, and I will answer all of your questions.
Can I just say,
2540 Banks. in
even if
Mid-City.
I weren't friends with this guy, I would still go have breakfast at Dissin 3 days a week, which I do.
Why
Yeah,
not?
actually.
Only 3?
Well, the other days I'm recovering from eating there.
Oh, yeah.
How much is a breakfast, by the way?
$10 or less.
Yes, there we go. So it's a very reasonable price point for what you described.
Oh
coffee,
yeah, no,
free
the
coffee.
fancy stuff. The most expensive I go is 12 on the fanciest of the fancy.
Free coffee if you mention this podcast.
Yeah, actually, yeah,
Really?
yeah.
You heard it here, guys. Free forever? 3 years from now, somebody's going to mention Midnight Menu +1 and get free coffee?
As long as
Just
they only
come
do
and
it
get
once.
some free coffee from me. How about that? mention Midnight Menu and come and get some free coffee.
All
I'll
right.
I'll cut you off when I cut you off.
We
How
got a
about
lot
that?
of listeners. All right. Well, thank you so much, guys. Our special guest tonight was Colin Provensal. And
You're close enough. Colin Provensal.
Not a French guy, are
You
ya?
can, well, you can say my full name is Colin Hall Provensal, actually.
all right, nice. And also Jeff Thompson was his +1. You can find out more about all those things we talked about and more by looking at the links at itsneworleans.com. Thank you also to Petite Pet Care, Hangover Destroyer, and the NOLA Brewing Tap Room for the awesome beer this evening. NOLA Brewing Tap Room is open 7 days a week. You can come anytime, or you can join us back here next week for another Midnight Menu +1. We're looking forward to seeing you next week. Till then, I am Ray Canada. Good night.
You know Labor Day signals the unofficial end of summer, but not the end of your outdoor projects. Lowe's helps you do it right and helps you save with Labor Day deals throughout the store. Shop now and get 2 bags of Stay Green potty mix for $12. And keep your lawn looking neat and trim with a Craftsman 2-cycle 17-inch gas string trimmer, now $20 off at just $119. Whatever's still on your to-do list this Labor Day, do it right for less. Start with Lowe's. Offers valid through 8/28. Soil offer excludes Alaska and Hawaii. U.S. only.